Hey guys, and welcome to my video. So today I'm talking about something different than what I'm talking normally about. So that's about how to learn your character and how to understand it and how to make your real rotation and things like this. So the point about making this video was super simple, or the reason was actually super simple. So actually once someone was watching my channel, a friend of mine I can say, and actually he blamed me because I didn't make a rotation for Warden as an example, because he was playing Warden and I actually maybe quit the game. I don't know if he quit or not, but actually he said this and he was blaming me. So I was like, okay, do I have to play all the 14 characters and understand everything about them and make rotation for all of them? So actually that's something hard for sure, to play with all the 14 characters and actually making your rotation very well with every one of them and play them and teach all of that and making videos about them all and teach all of you guys about all of them in all specs. So that's kinda super hard things to do, and I can say I don't play Warden that much. Almost I'm not playing the Warden, so it's hard to do this. Away from I have to do this super soon because third spec Warden is what is coming, so I will have to learn the 3 specs actually for the DPS video later. So what is the main point you need to understand so you can do this? The main points is super simple, but actually mostly not all players doing this. You have 2 points you need to understand about any character you are playing or whatever you are playing, or you will not even play. First point is your items. What is your items doing and why it's doing this? So you have to check the most items can make a difference for you. Missed items can give some attacks, so if I am talking about silver steel or sky stealer items, so range, earring and necklace will give some skills for you, some extra damage. Like here it's given as example Dragon Tund for the fire, and here is doing for Lunar Slash, and here doing for Dragon Tund also. That's something strange. So Dragon Tund taken from everything, and as example for second spec it will give on the slash here, and then it will give here Lunar Slash, and here it will give filter. Okay, so understand this will make you take a hint about what is the best skill for you. But that's not all. The most important 3 items to check on is bracelet and Zenith soul badge or the soul badge and the misted badge. That's the most 3 important things, and that's what can make rotation going here or going here and make you change your buttons and a lot of things like this. So bracelet, how it's working for me here, it's working with my Lunar Slash, and it will give me more damage on my own slash and on one straight 10 cuts. So you have to read this things well so you can understand what you have to do. For Misted Badge, what it's working with, it's working with Lunar Slash. What it will do, you have to check this. Most of Misted Badges is giving an extra effect, like on fire it will give me an effect like doing something like a fury or percent or anything like this. So that's the effect, but the effect is working with what, that's what you have to understand. So as example for fire it's doing with Dragon Tund and things will go. For lightning here, if I press the tab it will happen the dragon or the legend dragon tail effect, and this effect will deal damage around me. Okay, so since you have to read it and you have to understand everything on these points. Okay, so the main thing is the soul badge, especially because it's the most item can make the big changes, as bracelet will always be like this. Misted badge sometimes when it upgrade to higher things or higher level, sometimes it makes some changes or can give some extra things. So here as example on the Zenith it give me extra effect, that's the tercet try that makes the toxic. So that's something I don't have to do it, it's happen as a passive, so I don't need to do anything about it. But for here on the soul badge you have to read well. Light decrease 1 straight 10 cuts cooldown by its second because of bleeding edge. 1 straight 10 cuts as example, and fatal blade triggers on the bird effect, so you have to use this to trigger the effect. On the slash take more damage, and attack power. Way of the sending blade storm can trigger the effect that will make you able to use 1 straight 10 cuts or fatal blades once without any conditions. So if it's in cooldown, it can come back to me, so I can meta use for this. So don't use your H's as example, as you have Fatal Blade or 10 shots not in cooldown. I have them, so use them, then use H's, so you can use them again later. That's a point as example to have to understand. Since round like this, for sure it's different between character to character, but the main points is about this. You have to understand things so you can do things with your items. Okay, the other important things you have to understand for sure is your skills. What skills you have to use, what skills you don't have to use, what you have in your character, as you have one stance or two stance, as I have Blade Master here. This right click, this left click is useless, so if you are playing like this, you will do 0 damage, so you will have to do the draw stance and doing damage with this. But actually, which skill in your skills is the main DPS, and that's something you have to test yourself. So let's go for F12 and begin to check things and how it go. So here we are. So what we have to do and what we have to do. So if you understand nothing, you will have to read for sure every skill you have. So you'll find this one is giving you a buff as example. So mostly in most of characters, buff will be the first skill you have to use it, but sometimes it's not always. You have to use any other skill, then use your buff, then begin. And maybe this skill is not something will do damage on the boss, but maybe it will be something like preparing before you use the buff. Okay, so whatever, I will use as example this V because I know it will give me a buff. I will use this 4 because I know it will give me more theoretical, so things will be better for me. Then as example, all of the other skills, I have block, I have approach, I have this 3 can knock down, this will do nothing, and this one will stun, and this one will do TD, so all of them is useless. So I don't have any other solution but using Geotab. That's something normal. And with using Geotab, because they are saying it's a switch to a draw stance, so I have to go for this, so I can go for the draw stance as example. So let me do this. So if I go for this, also 4 can make me go for draw stance, so it can give me other choices also, but normally I will use this and this and this, it's better for me. So let me show you again this. So I will use V and 4 and the tab. I can right click and left click as example. That's normal thinking, will come for anyone, but for who understanding will find the flash step is the most damage skill on your skills. So if you use flash step as example like this 3 times with the slow mode, I even did it, it's doing so much damage as you can see. Okay, so that's the point. You begin to understand things. For sure you will begin to try and you will begin to understand with items and begin to make a combination with this. Like I need to use my tab for Misted Badge and the bracelet. So if you look here, that's the bracelet. It will begin to work from here, and the Misted Badge going for this dragon you see around me. So making our meta use for both of them is super important, and especially you have to read always the cooldown and how much it takes. Like here it's working for 4 hits, okay, and for the bracelet it's working for 8 seconds. Okay, so if 8 seconds is happened, your bracelet is done and your Misted Badge will be done before this, like sending a blade, Lunar Slash, Trailer, Zenith for 5 seconds. So if you can use Sins on 5 seconds again, so you can do more damage with your Misted and actually your bracelet will get reseated, that's better for you. If you can't, so try to do Sins after bracelet come back or about to run off, like if it's about 1 second here, make use for your tab so you can reset it again and begin to do your damage normally. That's the main points about doing Sins. You need to reset Sins on the right time, and that's going for a lot of your skills. Like I need this skill, but I know this skill not doing that much damage, but it's making me as example use the bracelet or use the Misted Badge. So use it when you know your Misted and the bracelet, if they are using both of them, about to run off, and use your skill. Okay, that's the main points you have to understand. For sure practice so much so you can understand things. So maybe you will start doing things like this and you'll find your DPS like going here, and you, as example, going for there. I don't understand anything, so maybe I will do like this. Maybe you'll find yourself doing V that slow. I tend to do it any faster than this as example, so you'll find yourself doing damage like this, and actually the real damage you can do is something like this. See the different numbers, just about the experience. So something like this V 3 times, it's not something easy to do, it's about experience. You have to practice on this a lot until you can do it. See, for me it's something like this. For some others maybe it will take 1 second or 2 seconds more if you are not experienced enough on doing this. So how you can do it, just practice more. Stay on training room a lot until you begin to make your rotation something so easy for you. For sure to do this on dungeons and on other hard situations. After doing this you will be a professional player, I can say, or you don't have any problem with rotations anymore. One more thing you have to focus on it, that there is some skills have a global cooldown with each others. Like if you go here for Force Master, that's something you will see here. If I use my X, it will go with a global cooldown with V like this. Like you can see, I can't trust both of them or one after each other because I will have to wait for 1 second. So you have to understand this point, and how to deal with this is quite simple. Like I will do like this. I know my C will boost my X, so I will use C then X, and I will not go for V and will go for something like that. It don't have a global cooldown with the V, so I will have no problem like this. So we'll do like this. I have no problem. I could trust the 4 skills together and I don't have any problem. If you do anything away from this, so that will make with you problems with X and V. For sure you can go for any skill not going with a global cooldown, but at least you will need to trust any skill between X and V, whatever how you will do them. And that's it. So I think that's it for the video. I don't need to talk anymore about this. Practice more, understand the points, and begin. Try as you can, talk to other players, maybe some parts you don't know, as you don't know which one is better for you, you don't know which skill is better, you don't know which one you can put it before which one. Sometimes you will find yourself, okay, if I use this skill I will have this states, but maybe as example why I don't do for V then tab then 4, and it's better to do for V4 then tab. So that's points maybe you will not understand so easy, but you need to think about it a lot until you begin to understand it. So maybe if you ask someone, they will say no, play with V4 tab. Why? Maybe he don't understand it himself because someone told him about this. But if you take or begin to understand, so you'll find like the 4 giving you critical damage, so that makes your tab will do more damage, and if you do it the opposite way, so you will lose the more damage you can get from this tab and you will do less damage, and points can be like this. So thank you for watching guys, hope you liked the video. If you didn't subscribe, for sure subscribe to my channel so you can see a lot from this, and thank you for watching guys. See ya in the next video. Bye bye.